Donald Trump is attempting to overturn the results of the election and install himself into power against the will of the American people. Now, I rarely ask you to share these videos directly, but this is important, and I ask that you share this with as many people as possible. What we are experiencing in this country has gone far beyond Donald Trump just being a sore loser. The president is rolling out a full-blown strategy to attempt to steal the election from Joe Biden and steal democracy from the American people who have resoundingly spoken that he is only to be a one-term president. Now, this is not hyperbole. This is not hysteria or conspiracy. This is exactly what Donald Trump is telling us he is going to do. The president said on Twitter, quote, "People will not accept this rigged election." He went on to say, "We will win." Well, the results are already in, Mr. President, and you've lost. The president went on to say, "Watch for massive ballot counting abuse. And just like the early vaccine, remember I told you so." So he's already shifting the goalpost, stating that what you need to be concerned about is ballot counting abuses. Now, it would be one thing if Donald Trump was by himself asserting that the election was not over, but he isn't. He has the support of some leading voices in the Republican Party. Listen to Ted Cruz as he gives his support to Donald Trump.
Of violations of law, the right standard is that every single legal vote that was cast should be counted, but any votes that were illegally cast shouldn't be counted.
South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham adds to Donald Trump's conspiracy theory.
This is a contested election. The media doesn't decide who becomes president. If they did, you would never have a Republican president forever. So we're discounting them. If Republicans don't challenge and change the U.S. election system, there'll never be another Republican president elected again. President Trump should not concede.
And even the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, adds on to this idea of illegal and legal ballots.
In at least 5 states. The core principle here is not complicated. In the United States of America, all legal ballots must be counted. Any illegal ballots must not be counted.
Donald Trump and Republicans have found their talking point that they are going to repeat over and over and over again, no matter how untrue it is. And that talking point is the idea of legal and illegal ballots, the idea that some ballots were legal and some ballots were illegal. Republicans are repeating this talking point about legal and illegal ballots because they understand that that gives them the ability to frame the conversation. And so long as they're able to frame the conversation in the national discourse, in the national media, then they can control the terms of the debate. And this is the most important tool for them to be able to move the ball towards Donald Trump actually remaining in power. Republicans believe that any vote cast for Joe Biden was illegal and that only votes cast for Donald Trump are legal. Number 2, Donald Trump and the Republican Party are using testimonials from Republican operatives as if they are evidence in and of themselves of voter fraud.
Sean, we keep hearing the drumbeat of where is the evidence? Right here, Sean, 234 pages of sworn affidavits.
What they aren't telling you is that the people who filled out these affidavits are Republican apparatchiks. They are Republican operatives who are desperate to find a way to overturn this election. Republicans repeatedly use this phrase sworn affidavit because it conveys a connotation of legality, and therefore it must be true. And therefore, it must be investigated. But I want you to take a look at this clip from Laura Ingraham on Fox News so that you can see just the extent to which these claims, these so-called affidavits, are really ridiculous.
You saw something suspicious, we're going to get right into it tonight, happening on the side of a Biden-Harris van in the parking lot of the polling station. Now, walk the audience through what happened.
I went out to go for a walk on my break. The Biden van was parked along this stretch, and I could see these people hand over what appeared to be white envelopes, just hand over onto this table. And as I got closer, the envelopes were being torn open. And as I got closer, I thought, those are ballots.
But you didn't say anything? You didn't say anything when you first saw it? I mean, how close are you to be able to see a ballot?
This level of absurdity, and to be quite frank, treachery, is what we're really up against. Take in consideration the Lieutenant Governor of Texas. He has put out a bounty of $1 million to find evidence of voter fraud. Number two, Republicans are desperately trying to find anything to overturn the results of the election. And when they can't find anything legitimate, they will outright lie and make it up, including these so-called affidavits. Number three, Donald Trump is attempting to use the judicial system in order to overturn the results of the elections, and he's expecting loyalty from his judicial appointees. Let me say this up front. Donald Trump does not have a legal case, but that hasn't stopped him from filing lawsuits. In fact, it became so embarrassing that a conservative appointed judge embarrassed one of Donald Trump's lawyers in a hearing about the accusation of voter fraud. And what's more, Donald Trump's attorneys themselves have admitted that they don't have a case because there's no voter fraud. Take a look at these transcripts of the proceedings in Donald Trump's Pennsylvania lawsuit. The court stated, "I understand. I'm asking you a specific question, and I am looking for a specific answer. Are you claiming that there is any fraud in connection with these 592 disputed ballots?" Donald Trump's attorney stated, "To my knowledge, at present, none." Are you claiming that there's any undue or improper influence upon the elector with respect to these 592 ballots? Goldstein, Donald Trump's attorney, says, "To my knowledge, at present, no." So Trump's own attorneys understand that he does not have a legal case. So that begs the question, why is he pursuing it? Well, that's because Donald Trump expects that at some point he can expect to get some loyalty reciprocated from some of his judicial appointees. Number four, Donald Trump intends on using Republican-led legislatures, state legislatures across the country to simply ignore the results of the election and appoint electors who will cast their votes for Donald Trump.
Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2 of the Constitution provides as follows, I quote in pertinent part, "Each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled in Congress." In other words, the state legislatures determine how to select their electors. Isn't that what that means?
Now, so obviously, Mark Levin is intentionally misinterpreting the Constitution, but that doesn't stop the fact that they want to try this and that there are Republican legislatures across this country who, quite frankly, have signaled that they're willing to give it a try. But to be sure, a state legislature cannot appoint its preferred slate of electors, overriding the will of the people after the election. For more than a century, all 50 states have followed the Democratic practice of appointing their electors based on popular elections. Now, this doesn't mean that they won't try. In fact, they are signaling across the country, they being Republican-led legislatures, are signaling that they are willing to give this a go. They have the backing of conservative media, and they absolutely have the backing of the President of the United States. I know this is a lot of information, but I wanted to make sure that you had everything in one place so that you could understand all of the different ways that Donald Trump is trying to steal this election. Number five, Donald Trump has instructed key departments to not cooperate with the Biden transition team. In particular, Donald Trump's appointee to the General Services Administration, Emily Murphy, has refused to sign off on the documents that would recognize Joe Biden's team as the transition team and Joe Biden as the president-elect. Even more dangerous, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo acknowledged the fact that he believes that there will be a second term of Donald Trump, completely ignoring the will of the people.
There will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration.
And perhaps more egregious, if not equally egregious, the Attorney General, William Barr, has launched investigations into alleged voter fraud. Now, this move was so flagrant that one of the top officials at the Department of Justice resigned as a direct result of it. The New York Times reported that the head of the voter fraud investigations at the department, Richard Pilger, stepped down from his post hours after Barr's announcement. So the president of the United States is not only using talking points and propaganda, he's not only using the media, he's not only willing to use state legislatures to overturn the will of the people, he's also showing that he's leveraging the federal government itself as his own personal tool to ignore the will of the people and to steal this election from Joe Biden. Number 6. And at the Pentagon, where Donald Trump cannot find loyalty, he is firing key players and replacing them with loyalists. This is extremely dangerous. Listen, quote, "These are dictator moves," defense officials alarmed as Trump installs more loyalists at the Pentagon. 4 defense officials, including Mark Esper, the defense secretary, and James Anderson, the acting undersecretary of defense for policy, have either resigned or been sacked since Trump lost the presidential election. Anderson was replaced by Anthony Tadha, a retired U.S. Army brigadier general who made false claims about President Barack Obama, including that he was a, quote, terrorist leader, according to CNN. Quote, "This is scary. It's very unsettling," one defense official told CNN, adding, "These are dictator moves." Representative Adam Smith, the chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, said the next few months could be downright dangerous. Now, here's how we stop them. We make noise, as much noise as we possibly can. That's not the only thing, but that's the first thing. That's the thing that you can do right now. Besides sharing this video, you can let everyone know that you understand very clearly what Donald Trump and the Republican Party are attempting to do. They have every intention of ignoring our right to vote. And you need to be bold enough to let them know that if they want to ignore our right to vote, then we can ignore their right to govern. Number 2, stop letting them frame the debate. This is not a conversation of illegal versus illegal ballots. That is the framing of Republicans. That is their propaganda at work. If we have any conversation about illegal ballots, it should be asking them, why are you calling every vote that was cast for Joe Biden illegal and every vote that was cast for Donald Trump as legal? Number 3, in addition to making noise, absolutely let every single Republican in office, I don't care if they're a Republican dog catcher, all the way to the president of the United States, to your Republican senator, to your Republican congressperson, to your Republican mayor, to your Republican state legislature, to your Republican state senator. Let every single one of them know that there will be a political price to pay if they even so much as try it. The only question now is, why is Donald Trump trying to tear this country apart at its seams, all for the sake of his ego? And furthermore, why are Republicans allowing him to do this? Instead of having a backbone and standing up for democracy, Republicans are bowing before the megalomania of Donald Trump. And they have shown that they are willing to burn this country to ashes on the altar of Trump's ego.